Welcome to the next episode of Discipline, Desire, Dedication. My name is Dakota Lang, along co-host Garrett Cotton. We got Mr. Jaxon Long with us today. What's up, bro?
Yes, sir. Dude, what's up? Good to be here.
How far you live from here?
Not too far, 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
So, close.
Born and raised in Utah or what?
Yes, sir. Yeah, born and raised in Utah. Grew up pretty much my whole life in Lehigh. Went to Lone Peak High School, so been around the area for a long time.
Heck yeah, that's awesome, man. We're glad to have you on the show,
Yeah,
the podcast. I guess what we can do to start us off, just kind of jump into your backstory.
Yeah.
I know you said you're from Utah. What was your childhood growing up,
Sure.
and
I'd love to
start there.
So growing up, love sports, super competitive family. So my dad was always pushing me to play sports, football, basketball, and baseball when I was growing up. Got to like 7th, 8th grade and realized I was a little bit smaller. I didn't grow, and I'm still not huge, but didn't grow until later.
Yeah.
And so, football, when all these dudes were huge, wasn't my forte.
I was the same way. I didn't get big till like college.
Yep.
I was like, damn,
Start
I wish
hitting
I
the
would have
gym,
played
right?
college. High school football, but yeah, I was.
Yeah, now looking back, it's like, I could have done it. But so then one of my best buddies that I grew up playing with, Tyler Jones, and he actually does sales as well now. But him and his family got me into golf.
Okay.
And so it took me up to the golf course a little bit, Alpine Country Club, close to where I grew up. So it was, pretty special getting up there and being able to go play with him and his family a little bit, and I loved it. So that Christmas, asked my parents for golf clubs.
Yeah.
Ended up getting into it, and we ended up joining that next year. So from there on, I dropped everything else. It was like golf, and that's it for the rest of history from there.
That was the obsession.
So started playing golf. Played through high school and then went into mission. So lived in Hong Kong, China for a couple years, which taught me a lot. And I obviously translates, a lot of guys in this industry serve missions as well.
Yep.
Translates really well just because, you're knocking doors, talking to strangers. And then I was doing it in another language, so speaking.
So dealing with the ultimate rejection.
Yeah, right. It was tough and feeling like an idiot a lot, right? Not knowing what you're saying. So that was really good for me. Came back and then ended up playing golf at Southern Utah University, so SUU. Played 4.5 years there, had a little COVID semester. And then that's kind of how I got into door-to-door. So my first summer back, I was like a rules official for the UJGA, so the Utah Junior Golf Association.
Yeah.
And long hours, getting up super early. It was pretty chill. I sat in a cart and drove around most of the day.
Enjoyable. You get to be on.
Yeah,
golf
but I
courses
didn't make
and stuff.
jack, right? So I was like, I gotta figure something else out. One of my mission buddies, Michael Paulson, and I'm actually having lunch with him after this. He's like, hey, dude, right after the mission, I went and sold pest control, and he made like 60 grand his first summer. And I was like,
And you're like 19, 20 at this time.
yeah, it was like 20. Yeah, so I'm like, dude, I made like $4 grand this summer, working long hours. I'm like, let's do something else. So went and sold with Fox Pest Control for 2 years. Was down in Baton Rouge. I know, close to home for you guys.
Yeah.
I did super well my first couple years. Having him was really good. He taught me a ton. And then from there, I was in college still at that time. Had a couple buddies that I lived with at the time. They were my roommates. They worked for Aptiv. And so Michael, he got married, was kind of phasing out of pest control.
Yeah.
And so that's when I got introduced to Aptiv and made the switch, and it's been great since. So
Yeah.
So how long have you been with Active?
so 3 years with Aptiv. I actually missed a year too. My first year back from my mission, I actually dabbled in satellite sales for a little bit.
Okay.
So Gen Marketing, shout out Nathaniel Olson. He's a stud. He taught me most of the basics of sales.
Yep.
So I can't forget him.
That
But
was
yeah,
door to door as well.
door to door, yeah. And I just did a couple blitzes, but that's kind of what got my feet wet into it. And then from there, my buddy, like I said, Mike told me he did pest control. So 2 years with Fox, and then was my third summer with Aptiv. So
I'm going to really get off topic, but just because
Sure.
with Baton Rouge and everything
Let's
like
go.
that, what was your first impression when you got to Baton Rouge?
So I didn't do like the traditional, drive my car out there, caravan with buddies, get into the apartment type thing. I was playing golf at the time, and so we finished season kind of late. So everyone's already out there. I didn't get there till like middle of May. And so I flew in, manager picked me up. Actually, it's the owner of the branch, Brogan Searle, picked me up, and hot as hell, right? It was brutal. Yeah, I mean, May was hot, and so I was like, whoa, I haven't been down south before, so that was a shock. And then drove me to the apartment. No one was there. Everyone was out knocking. We got my iPad set up, and because I was golfing, like my buddy, he's like, hey dude, like let's get some training in. I was like, nah, dude, screw that. Like I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. He's like, all right, dude, and he didn't push me, which honestly was really good for me. If he was like really pressuring me, I probably would have like backed off a little bit, because for me, golf is my thing. That's what I want to focus on. So I got out there, didn't know anything, didn't know how to fill out a contract, I knew maybe like the intro, right? And so he got my iPad set up, dropped me off at like 4:30 probably, and just said, all right, like go have fun and just see what happens.
Yeah.
I got lucky, got a sale my first day, so that was pretty cool.
Okay.
Made it happen, but it was a lay down. Lady needed it, but
Uh-huh.
but yeah. So that's kind of my first impression.
What about the food?
Dude, I mean, that was probably my favorite part, and honestly, every other summer has been hard because you compare it to it.
Yeah.
I mean, every single day for lunch. I mean, and you guys know how it is when you're out knocking. Like you're eating out most days,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
literally.
some guys are better than me. They might, meal prep and stuff. But
Yeah,
for
I
me,
was
like,
eat out
we
every
was
day.
going to
yeah.
grab
So
lunch.
we would always go try little local spots wherever we're knocking, and dude, like the food down there is.
So did you ever get the opportunity to eat crawfish?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We actually got some customers. I think it was 4th of July. Me and my buddy Bryce Johnson, we were knocking, and he knocked on a family. They're doing a crawfish boil.
Oh.
So they brought us in. We went. We were throwing some cornhole with them, and we smoked them.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't think we had it in us, but yeah, that was fun.
It's
Heck
always
yeah.
a good
Crawfish
time.
is
It's
good,
like
man.
open arms down there. Everybody always invites you in and stuff.
And that's the other thing too, man. I think it was a really good like segue for me getting into it, because I've knocked in some other markets. I've knocked in Seattle, Portland. People are a little
Yes,
tougher out there.
I'm over a market in Seattle, and
Yep.
Seattle's it
It's
gets
good,
tough.
great market,
Yeah.
but people are a little different, right?
It is.
So being my first year down there, it was great because just everyone was so nice, and I was a
Yeah.
little, 20-year-old kid, baby face, like everyone would listen to me. Like, all right, well,
100%.
let the little guy speak, and ended up doing pretty well. So
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I'm curious about the Hong Kong mission. So I'm in the middle of the Blake Erickson's new book, The Science of Scaling, right now,
Okay.
and they were talking about it's common to see like 10 baptisms in a year. Is that pretty fair?
yeah, so in Hong Kong, and it depends, right? Like where you're at. So there's some missionaries that speak Mandarin, and they will teach like people that come down from China.
Okay.
So Chinese people come down. They'll be there for one day because they can only like have like a day pass, basically.
Yeah.
They'll be there for one day. They'll get taught all the lessons and get baptized that same day.
Oh, wow.
Now they're getting taught up in China,
Yeah.
but they're not allowed to get baptized up there.
Interesting.
So yeah, so those people had a pretty interesting mission. For us, no door knocking actually. So that part doesn't.
Is it
translate
all
door
like
to door.
prearranged type of meetings type thing?
The people that come down?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's like planned out.
Yeah, those are planned. For us though, no door knocking. It was only street contacting because they all live in huge skyscrapers basically.
Yeah.
And they have security at the front. They won't let us in. So all street contacting. But yeah, it definitely taught me a lot. As far as the baptisms thing, yeah, like I knew a lot of missionaries that had zero.
Yeah.
Their whole time,
Well, I never knew it was like that was like a goal.
Yeah.
Whenever they go out, but it was like his first year he did like 8. His goal was to do 10. He did like 8 or something.
That's awesome.
But his second year, which I haven't gotten to the end of it yet, so I don't know what the end result. But he set a goal of like to baptize 100 people.
Wow.
Like an absurd goal or something like that, which I hadn't gotten to the.
We'll see what happens. Maybe he did it.
And maybe he did. But yeah. But would you
For me,
relate?
for me, that wasn't the story. I felt super successful. I had 8 people, 8 or 9 that ended up getting baptized, which was awesome. But yeah, I mean, maybe if I had the door-to-door skills I have now, could.
And maybe even too, if like scenarios, it was actually like door to door, like getting
Sure.
more opportunities and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
it's hard, man. Street contacting, like talking to people on the bus or the train, or just like as they're going to work, like it's hard to catch people at a good time.
Was it the hardest part, the language barrier?
Yeah, so my first, again, so I never had a native companion, so it was just white dudes,
Yeah.
and had to figure it out, like, for the first year, pretty tough, right? Language barrier is brutal. After that, second year, I felt, like, very, very confident. I wouldn't call myself fluent, but I felt like I spoke really well and could, talk in any conversation. So at that point, it wasn't really a language barrier. The people are just pretty harsh as well. So, again, good good warm up for the job. But I mean, they would literally, you start talking to them, they just put their hand in your face and like would be like, don't talk to me.
It'd be rude, people.
Yeah, pretty rude. Yeah, and again, it's not even. I wouldn't take it to heart. It's just their culture. Yeah, it's like they don't even really have a word for like to like greet people on the street, like strangers. Like, how's it going? You know, like when we would say it's leho in Cantonese, like we would say it to people and they're like, what? Like, what are you trying to do? You know, it's just
why
weird.
are you talking to me?
Yeah, it's not in their culture.
Yeah,
So,
I'd imagine too. Just one of the things with the mission is like you have to separate yourself from family. It's like sacrificing all of the norms in your life for something completely completely new. I'd imagine that also helped you in your door-to-door experience.
for sure.
Are y'all more of like a blitz company? Like y'all do a lot of stuff away, or is there?
So with Active, it's I mean, last year I knocked 6 months. This year was like 5.
So you'll
it's-
leave home for 6 months
Yeah.
and you'll go. Like, where'd you go this year?
So this year was Pennsylvania. We started out like for a month in Atlanta, like preseason, you know, in like April, and then the rest of the year was in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Cool.
So-
Okay. So every summer you'll go away.
Yeah, that's how it goes. And yeah, it's I think you kind of hit the nail right in the head. Like it's very similar to the job. Like a mission is very similar to sales and vice versa.
Yeah.
And that's why I think if people have served a mission, like it's a really good indicator that they might do well at the job. Just because it's kind of all in, right?
Yeah.
From the time you wake up to the time you know, go to
It's a
bed,
commitment.
you're all in on it.
Yeah,
So-
for me, I mean, I grew up in Louisiana where, you know, it's like a little bit more Christian. I mean, like a lot of Catholic
Yeah,
churches
yeah.
and stuff, but we're non-denominational. I grew up Pentecostal, actually.
Okay,
it's just-
cool.
we've seen it all.
Yeah, awesome.
But for me, we never go on like a mission or anything like that. So the biggest relation that I can have is like, I went to basic training for Army National
heck
Guard.
yeah, good for you.
And it's like 4 months away from family where it's like no phone, completely distracted, or I say distracted, but you are completely separated from any norms that you have. And it's basically of that commitment to what you've just put yourself into.
Yeah,
So
that's tough, man.
I translated into
Respect you
door to
for
door.
doing that. Oh, 100%.
Door to door is the same exact thing. It's like it's me versus me. I can't call mom and ask for help. I can't. Nobody's going to be able to help me at home. You know, same way when I was at basic training, it was just like I have to get through this. You know, so it's like embrace the suck, fall in love with it, and then
Yeah, and I love that you hit on that, dude, because I think that's one of the biggest principles for the job and for life. Like, I mean, I know David Goggins says it in his books. Like, there's a lot of Andrew Tate talks about it. Like, dude, no one is coming to save you.
That's
you know what
right.
I mean, and it's tough, and you're still gonna have family that supports you and people that love you. But at the end of the day, it's like, dude, when you're out there and it gets tough, like you gotta rely on yourself.
And how old are you now?
26.
26. All right. So when would you say that clicked for you? For me, I know it was 25 years old. I was at the end of college, started to work in my degree field, and then went back to restaurants because I was like, well, this ain't it. And then I realized like life has got to happen now. I got to lock in.
Yeah, it's a good question. For me, it was honestly, that realization was kind of gradual, but growing up playing golf and playing in college, golf is an individual sport, right? So I feel like I've always kind of had that because you have to learn to rely on yourself, right? Like if you're playing basketball, and I'm not bagging on other sports, but you're playing basketball or football, if you're playing bad, the coach can sub you out for a game. You know, you can pass more. You can, go play hard on defense. Like in golf, it's you in the golf course, and it can get ugly, right? Like, so you really have to realize as a golfer, and especially in college, it's like, dude, it's you and you alone, right?
That is
like,
a really good point as far as like just golf in general, because that's like one of the most stressful sports you can play. It's so easy to get flustered and emotionally, like you hit a bad shot, you want to throw things, mad.
Yep.
Dakota, I remember, I'll never forget. I always tell stories about Dakota on the doors because he used to be mean and aggressive on the door. Like those homeowners would be like, "What are y'all doing?"
You go back at him,
and he's like, "All right, buddy," and he's like,
"Oh,
all right.
I still do it sometimes."
Yeah, and I'm like, "Dude, there's nobody winning here by you
it's
being mean." But it's good because if you can balance those emotions and learn how to deal with them in an individual sport or just somewhere where you put that type of pressure on yourself, and then you come into this industry.
And I love golf because I really do feel like I can relate it to everything. I mean, what you were just saying there, like the most important shot is the next one, right? In golf, you hit a bad shot, all right, dude, put your club in your bag. You can be mad for 2 seconds, club in the bag, go find it and go hit the next one, right? And it's like that with door to door. Like you knock a door, you get cussed out. Like it's really easy to let your emotions get the best of you, either anger or get like, feel bad for yourself. But it's like, all right, like club in the bag, onto the next door. Let's let's lock in and go hit the next shot.
Yeah,
So,
preparing, because you could hit one in like almost out of bounds. I mean, you could and
you
still
can hit
come
out of
back and
bounds.
par.
Yeah.
You know, like it's possible to save the day on the next.
I always
putt.
look at golf as like you're always trying to prepare for the next shot. You know what I mean? This shot's going to affect that. What would you say with like the career that you're doing right now? What is your long-term goal?
That's a good question. Yeah, man. Like, and I think it's a tough subject because I mean, in general, in this industry, it's like you either have career guys, right, that build a huge downline, and that's like their life, right? And then there's guys that go out and are just stud knockers and knock for a long time, and then maybe get burnt out of it or, you know, like move on to stages of life. I'm kind of in between. I'm trying to figure out, honestly, right now what I'm going to do, just because through college, it was like, okay, this is just for college, just to make money, right? I went out my first summer, I knocked 2 months, right, in Baton Rouge, and I did like 170 counts, made like 30 grand in 2 months. I'm like, that's solid, right?
Yeah.
But then again, 2 months on, and then I'm back to school, focused on golf for the next, 10 months, basically. Next year, I was out for like a month and a half, right? Did pretty similar in accounts, and then went back to school, focused on golf. Right. And then the next few years, I did it for my first year at Aptive. I did 2 months, did 250K. So made 100 grand. And I think that's when it clicked for me that it could be something I do long term.
What at that, like, what made that switch right then? It had to be something for you to go from 15K a month to 230 and 2?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think a lot of it, honestly, like, shout out to Aptive, and I love Fox, I love Aptive. They both have like things that I think we're better about, the companies. But the leadership, the people that I was around, and just kind of like the expectation of greatness,
Culture.
it's like culture. It played a big part for me. And honestly, getting out of the Baton Rouge heat was also nice. Right?
Yeah.
Like knocking a couple months, I was like, oh, it's 70 degrees every day is perfect. Like,
Right.
a little more energy, a little better mood. I can't pick one thing in particular. I think in life in general, it's like you just got to get a little better every year, and sometimes everything just lines up and you kill it, right? So those two, I knocked 2 months and then back to golf, and that was kind of my last year in golf. And then after that, I was trying to decide what I'm gonna do. I'm like, all right, I gotta give my all to something because I'm done with golf now. I got to figure out something else to do. So I went all in, knocked a full 5.5, 6 months. Hit Golden Door, which is awesome. I know there's guys that do it in 2 months, like I'm not the most talented by any means. But I feel like I worked really hard, and again, a lot of things from golf translated over and helped me have success. And right now, so this last year, I knocked for 5-ish months, did 450, so a little worse than the year before, which is tough, right? But I think I've learned a lot from it, and then just trying to kind of figure out where we're going to go from here. So.
Yeah, I think that's something that, especially with what we do with performance, is that you get some people that, they don't have the vision to become a market owner. You know what I mean? They just kind of have the vision, like, let me stay closer. And one of the things that I preach to them is, like, you don't have to be growing to the next position. That's what everybody wants to do, or that's what people say you should do, right? But in reality, is as long as you're growing in some way, shape, or form, as far as like investments, you know what I mean, creating passive income, right?
Love
to where you don't have to be on the doors for the rest of your life, So
We try and build that vision with our people of we even introduce them to like our financial advisors and CPAs, and whatever we can do to help people have a plan, have an exit plan.
an exit plan, retirement.
We want you to be able to go out and up in life.
100%.
Not once you finish your door to door, you're out and like, oh, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Well, that's why because me and him didn't have any door to door experience whenever we came here. So to tell you a little bit about our story,
please.
So I did real estate before this.
Cool.
He was working at fine dining, and me and him were fraternity brothers in college, right? We graduated from the same parish, which is the county, right, in Louisiana, but we didn't know each other in high school. So met each other in college. He got the opportunity from his cousin's wife now, and he was up there in Denver, and he was like, dude, this is crazy. I was trying to recruit him to come sell real estate.
Okay.
And long story short, he needed his second recruit to get the closer script.
I was a better salesman.
There you go.
Yeah. So he was like, he was like, dude, I'll buy your ticket to Denver, Colorado. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm in. I've never been. loaded up. He bought the plane ticket. I flew to Denver. And at the time, it was me, him, and one other guy from Louisiana. And whenever we got here, first of all, I saw the script and I saw what we were doing. I was like, this is fucking genius. You know what I mean? Like, this is gold mine. And we ran with it. And like now today, I think we got 70, 75 people from Louisiana
for you, man.
in the downline.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
And the thing is like, you know, we always tell people like, this isn't the end goal. This is to set us up to get to the end goal.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Like,
But you got to see that though.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people come in and be like, "This is more money I've ever made in my life," and they think this is the end. But you will lose it really quick, just as fast as you made it.
Yep. Because I mean, one thing I love is like hard work isn't necessarily hard.
Yeah.
But it's like knowing what hard work to do, you know, and a lot of times people get lost on that path.
That is true.
And so I think it's really, really important to figure out, I mean, you know, it's pretty cliche, but figure out your why, you know, figure out the path, like you guys are saying.
Yep.
And I hate to be the entrepreneur because I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but getting into this, like the last couple of years, I've always said that I want to eventually do my own thing, right? So like to be straight up honest, I don't know exactly what that is yet, and that's I just got back from the summer, so that's what I'm figuring out now. You know, and I might knock for a few more years and before that happens, but you know, I've been investing in real estate, bought a couple properties the last couple of years, and so going down that path as well. But yeah, I love what you guys are saying on that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that whenever we got in, like our financial advisors, like one of them did door to door, and the reason that he started doing that, he said, is because he's seen so many people go into door to door and make all this money, and then they look up 5 years later and they have nothing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They
Big spenders too.
Big
right?
spenders, right? Yeah, we are. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But at the same time, like that's something that we preach in our people is like, hey, look, like you don't want to be the guy that comes and knocks doors for 5 to 10 years, and then you look up and you're still in the same situation you were in 5 years ago.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like this is to set us up to where we can get passive income. You know what I mean? To where you can start a family, you can have all those other goals in life, other businesses. You know. So
No, I love that. And honestly, so Mitch Fry, I got to shout out him as well. He's my the partner at Aptive over Origin.
I feel like I've heard these names. I've probably seen them on the leaderboards when y'all post, because I follow a bunch of grit guys and Aptive guys and stuff.
Yeah, cool.
And I feel like these names you're saying, I've never met.
They're
these
out.
guys.
Yeah.
I've
I'm sure you heard them.
Yeah.
But Mitch he's the biggest stud ever. Like one of the best guys you'll meet. Absolute competitor. Played football and basketball in college, so he's a stud. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge thing that really drew me towards Aptive as well. Is Mitch owns over 150 doors now of real estate, right? So he's always pushed us in that direction. I've learned a lot from him. I've counseled him on like all the projects that I look at. And it just kind of got me thinking that same way, right? Like long term. And that's what he said. That's why he got into it. He realized like, okay, like if I go make, 50 grand in the summer, I can have a down payment for a townhouse. Right? And then like get going that way. And then you make more than that. You can put a couple properties down, and then you have, tax benefits and a lot of other things that come from real estate as well. So learned a lot from him, and it's been really good being surrounded with those type of guys. So
what I know that you said that you went. What were you selling? You were selling pest control, and then you went and sold something. What? Not solar.
So I sold satellite my first year actually. So like I did a couple blitzes.
What? Okay, your first year.
So I kind of skipped over it the first time, but
okay. I was just curious, like, what made you do the switch?
Yeah. So with satellite, I actually loved it. It was it's a pretty easy sell because you're essentially switching people from DirecTV to Dish, and so you just go. You have leads. The tough thing was when I was there, the leads weren't great, and so you're knocking a lot of people that didn't have DirecTV anymore, or they didn't have any satellite TV, and they were all switching to streaming, and that's part of it. I know those guys still kill it.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I was like, I don't really see this being like a long-term thing, But like I said, I learned most of the basics and a lot of stuff from them. Jen does a great job training. They have great culture, great swag. So it was awesome being there and learned a lot from doing that. And then the transition, honestly, it was just the money. Like my buddy Mike was like, dude, I made 60 grand in 4 months. Yeah. And in my mind, like I'm prideful, right? I'm like, if he can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's make this happen. Went out and made 30 grand in 2 months and
boom,
went from there. So.
Started from there. Heck yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what led to the switch, but
yeah. And yeah, so you've got one golden door in your time as
Yep.
going through, and then so right now, would you say you've got like a pretty strong downline in active?
It's okay. I've had, and there's always shifting within companies. Had a good chunk of my guys go to a different company this last
I
summer.
feel like pest especially is a
Yeah.
lot of guys bouncing around, which we're seeing it more often now in the window world.
Yeah.
But yeah, pest control. I've heard that. I mean, it's very competitive in
Yeah.
there.
So yeah, I mean, it's not, honestly, my downline's not huge, and that's where I'm like trying to decide where I'm going to go from here. But the story of Gideon, he's one of the partners at Prime, I believe, in Aptive, and I remember he gave a training, and he literally lost every single one of his guys except for like one or two, like 3 years in a row.
Oh yeah,
Right, but he just kept trudging, kept pushing forward, and now he has the biggest partnership at Aptive and the most successful one.
Yeah,
So,
abundance mentality.
abundance mentality, man.
I swear that even when I had my big offices, I was like, I will fire everybody in here and still rebuild.
Yep.
And it's like that confidence in yourself is like it's you versus you. It's coming back to that golf
That's all it
mentality.
is, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Anything else from you, Dakota?
I'm good. You got any last things you want to say?
No, man. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's you versus you, right? Like that's what life is. No one's come to save you, but the more you can surround yourself with people that are gonna lift you up, it's all about the culture that you create around yourself, the people that are around you, because that's at the end of the day who you're gonna be like. So
Proximity is power. Yeah,
proximity is power.
That's important. And then, so you're still with Aptive for next summer. You're going to be back on them.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's something we can probably touch on too, as far as like if anybody and listeners out there,
Of course.
are in the pest world, interested in Aptive, this would be the guy to talk to.
Yeah, hit
Got
me
some
up. And
experience.
I mean, there's a lot of different personalities in door to door, right? And some people might vibe better with me. Some people might vibe better with, someone else, Drew Hansen, Marlon Scott. There's a lot of different studs out there. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, my team and my guys, like we have a little bit of a different vibe than I think some people get turned off from door to door because of just like the sales bro vibe, you know? And that's one thing I've loved about the guys that I've been around is like, we're really competitive still and we really push each other, but it's not like the rah type, So some people like that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Some people kill it with that. It's not me. It's not my vibe. But
Yeah.
it's been awesome. So
Heck yeah, man. Where Instagram, stuff like that, where can people find you?
yeah, it's just Jaxon Long on Instagram, JXONLONG. So yeah, give
Jaxon
me a
Long on
follow.
Instagram. So definitely, if you're interested in pest control, reach out to Jaxon. He would definitely be glad to talk to you for sure. And make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Drop a comment below, and appreciate you watching. Later.
Yes, sir.